Welcome back to the Extraordinary Self podcast. I'm your host, Maria Del Gaiso, and today's episode is inspired by one of the most grounding truths I've ever heard from the spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle, who said, "How do you know this is the experience you need? Because this is the experience you're having at this moment. The fact that this moment is as it is proof that you need it." So let that sink in. It can sound a bit frustrating if you are going through something that doesn't feel quite pleasant. If you think about it for a moment, life in its mysterious intelligence gives you exactly what your soul needs for its evolution. Not what your ego wants, not what your timeline prefers, but what your deeper self, your true self, came here to learn. In this episode, we'll explore how to stop resisting that moment and instead recognize it as the teacher you asked for. Because when you can see pain, delays, and challenges as sacred curriculum rather than punishment, everything changes. Okay, let's start with something we all know too well: resistance. That mental voice that says, this shouldn't be happening. This isn't fair. This isn't how I pictured it. We all experience some form of that in our lives at some point where we resist welcoming a current present moment, a current situation. And truly, that's the ego's defense mechanism. Resisting is that protection. It tries to preserve control by rejecting what is, because whatever came maybe wasn't our conscious decision. But here's the paradox: the more we resist life, the heavier it becomes. Eckhart Tolle reminds us that the present moment never really is the enemy, but it's our thoughts about it, our interpretation, our fight against it are what truly creates suffering. And once you understand that and capture that, how much we inflict self-suffering because of the thoughts that we carry around the experiences that we're having, how much pain we add to the experience, how much unnecessary frustration and delay and prolonging that we do because we can't come to terms with what's happening in front of us. When you can truly pause during this time and find that quiet space of that resistance and ask yourself, what if this isn't punishment, but what if this is preparation? You truly begin to open a door. You go from fear to faith, from control to surrender, and you kind of sit in it. You relax into it and you become humble and you say, I don't know everything. And right now I have to accept what it is until it makes sense. So you need to look at your life as a divine classroom. Once I added that analogy in my brain about why I'm here, and I thought of it as divine curriculum, each moment, even the painful ones, becomes part of that syllabus, that divine syllabus of curriculum that's meant for you specifically. And if you have experienced things in the past, like heartbreak, you've learned maybe after that much more compassion towards others, maybe a big failure that humbled you into self-awareness, that waiting season that taught you to trust. I know in the moment we can't always see that, and it feels like life is cruel, but it's really truly part of our curriculum. And like they always say, when you shift from asking yourself, why is this happening to me, to what is this teaching me, you've moved from a state of victimhood into empowerment. You begin to realize the very thing you wished away might be the exact thing that's sculpting your strength, your empathy, your wisdom. Your soul did not come here for comfort. Unfortunately, I say sometimes, because comfort seems like a wonderful thing when we're going through something that's excruciatingly painful and hard and confusing. But we came here to grow, and I know that for sure. And growth always carries with it some degree of friction. And when we're in the moment, I have to say, growth doesn't feel like growth. It feels like endings. It feels like uncertainty. It feels like being stripped away of what you thought you needed. But one day, and those who have walked through the fire and can look back, you realize that those same exact experiences were the ones that brought you home to yourself, that woke you up to things that you did not know, that gave you a whole different layer to your being and to your existence. They burned away illusions. They softened your heart. They taught you how to trust life again. That same storm you prayed would end was maybe the one that set you free, free from insecurity or self-doubt or the lies that you held on for so many years. And it had to happen for you to break open and recognize these things. So when life feels hard, instead of asking, when will this be over? Try asking, what part of me is being refined right now? What can I pick up from this? What can I extract? Help me see, help me be stretched to exist in this waiting moment until things become clear, and help me be strong enough and faithful enough to honor my life and to know that it is worth enduring through this gray area. Let's bring this concept into practice, because in reality, how do you do this? When you're going through something that's challenging, how do you do this? And you notice that you're not accepting it, you're resisting it. Well, the first step is to notice that resistance. Become aware of when your mind starts fighting reality. And then the second thing you could do is name it. Name that I'm frustrated right now. I'm sad. I am afraid. When you separate it, you separate yourself from the emotion. It becomes something outside of you. You are not that. You are experiencing that, and it's visiting you for some time. And when a visitor comes, maybe they bring gifts, right? You welcome them in and you accept what they're going to bring to that visit, their presence, their knowledge, their laughter, their company, even actually physical gifts they might bring you. Well, it's the same thing with these emotions and these things that we experience. They bring gifts. And I want you to begin to allow it instead of trying to change it. Breathe into it. Allow the feeling to be here, and stop judging yourself for experiencing these things, and stop trying to always rush out of emotions and things that we have deemed as always completely negative and unwanted. Flip the script. Try to see it in a different way. Ask the question, what is this moment inviting me to see, to feel, to release? And do that as many times as you have to. Continue to ask those questions, be curious about the moment, and also be soft with yourself in regards to show yourself some grace, because maybe you've never navigated this situation or these emotions or these what's happening. And so also give yourself some grace. When you do this, you shift from fighting life to really allowing yourself to flow with it. And that's truly where transformation happened, because peace doesn't come from getting what you want always. Peace comes from allowing what is. There's just things out of our control. And the more you realize that, the more you let go, the more you flow with life. I can look back at so many moments in my life where I was hoping for a different outcome or a different timeline or a different path, or things to just feel different and be different. And I had to say, well, I am here where I am. And those very experiences are the ones that gave me deeper wisdom. They taught me more empathy and patience, humility, faith. I didn't see it at the time, but now I understand. I wasn't being punished. I was being prepared. And I know you might be feeling right now at this moment that it's truly a punishment. And there's so many variations of things that you could be experiencing as you're listening to this episode and these words. So I get it. You might pick up aspects of this today that resonate with you. Um, and maybe some you can't really understand at the moment either. But whatever you're walking through right now, that delay, the heartbreak, the uncertainty, it's not meaningless. It's sacred. Your soul called it in, not to break you, but to build you. And even though it was not of your own doing, not where you saw your life, not how you pictured things. When we say this is it. This is what I need to face and accept. What can I do? What can I do about it? What can I learn from it? What can I choose to experience from this? And I know it's not easy. I'm not saying at all. I want us to do an activity together, because if you are listening still in this episode and you are resonating and whatever you're going through, this might be speaking to you. Let's take a moment. Let's take a moment to anchor this in stillness. I want you to take a deep breath, and I want you to whisper quietly, "This is the experience I need. I surrender to the lesson it carries. This is the experience I need. I surrender to the lesson it carries. This is the experience I need. I surrender to the lesson it carries." Breath in, exhale out. Life's wisdom isn't somewhere in the future. It's here, it's now, it's this very moment, disguised in whatever experience you're resisting most. This is it. This is the epiphany. It's the next level. It's the empowering. It's that next thing that your soul is calling for. And I promise that you will see it one day. When you stop fighting, stop resisting, you are going to be able to take full advantage of the experience and truly extract what your soul needs from it. And you will finally align to what's meant to be. Thank you so much for joining me today in this episode. The experience you need is the one that you're having. If this message resonated, share it with someone who's walking through a difficult season. And remember, the moment you're in is not random, it's divine design. Until next time, stay extraordinary.